So my hometown of Vallejo, it's got a lot of fucking dark history, blood. And obviously you know about the Zodiac Killer, that's what it's most famous for. But the fucking Zodiac Killer, blood, that is the least interesting fucking thing about Vallejo, player. I swear to God, that shit's so boring, blood. There's so much more about this fucking town. And I just want to take a second and talk about the orphanages, blood, because Vallejo was like the city of orphanages back in the day and shit. And they had a giant motherfucking orphanage there. And from like 1870 to like 1919, this motherfucker had hundreds of kids there. And it got shut down. And guess why? They was murdering kids there, blood. Murdering kids, raping kids. They was finding dead little boys in fucking crawl spaces naked. Dozens of little girls getting raped. So they shut the motherfucker down. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, blood, because there was another orphanage in Vallejo. It wasn't really in Vallejo though, blood. It was a few miles down the road. If you going down I-80, you come across Hidden Brook, that suburb past Vallejo. That's where it was at, blood. There was a big ass orphanage there too, but it wasn't the same. You see, this orphanage, it was for deformed kids, player. And not just slightly deformed, I'm talking seriously deformed kids. Like kids that is born so deformed that their parents can't have them, blood. They don't want them or they can't deal with that kind of level of fucking care. So they put them in this orphanage, blood. And needless to say, just like the other orphanage, it was ran by some sadistic motherfucker. And he did some terrible shit to these deformed kids, blood. There were all these stories about these deformed kids hitting up Cordelia in rural Vallejo late at night, early morning, begging the fucking locals, the farmers, for food and shit. And that must have been fucking quite a thing a spectacle. Imagine you being a farmer back then, blood. In the middle of the night, you got all these deformed kids at your doorstep asking for food and shit. Crazy, blood. According to legend, a couple of these kids had enough. They set dude on fire. They burned down the whole fucking orphanage, and there ain't nothing left of it to this day. And I was surprised the other day, blood, because I fucking found out somebody wrote a whole book about this shit, for real. But you ain't gonna find much information about this place. You can Google it. Children of the Good Serpent, Vallejo. Google that shit, you might find something. But it's like I said, for towns in California, since California was an incorporated part of America, Vallejo got a lot of fucking history. One of the most historic towns you're gonna find in California. And I hope in the future I can start telling you more about this amazing fucking city, because they had a lot to fucking learn. I might do a Sherm story about Benicia later, because that fucking town's got some shit too, blood.